Hello students, welcome to the biology class. Today we are going to start with our new unit, genetics and evolution. In this unit we are having 3 chapters. Number 1 is principle of inheritance and variation. Number 2 is molecular basis of inheritance, and number 3 is evolution. In this session, that is 2020-21, evolution is not the part of 12th class CBSE board. So in this unit, we will discuss only 2 chapters, that is principle of inheritance and variation and molecular basis of inheritance. So today we are going to start with our new chapter, that is principle of inheritance and variation. So today we are having our chapter 5th, that is your principle of inheritance and variation. So in this chapter, during the introduction of this chapter, there is one very common statement, that is like we get like. So they said that what is the meaning of like we get like? The children resemble their parents. Members of family resemble their relatives. Elephant always give birth to the baby elephant. And members of the family, they resemble their relatives. However, every member of the family and every individual of community can be recognized because each one has particular combination of traits. That means characters which are not found in any other member. The difference found in the various traits of the individual of progeny from one another and their parent, and this is called as variation. So the things which we used to carry from one generation to another, and because of the traits or the characters we resemble each other, that is the inheritance, and the differences found in the various traits of individual or progeny from one to another, that is called as the variation. And variation appear in all sexually reproducing individual. Why? Because of the recombination of the genes during the reproduction, the crossing over takes place, and with this the exchange of the genes are there, and then they are going to fertilize, and that random fertilization gives you the new combination, and this is the recombination of the genes. So the early agriculturists, they knew the reason for the variation in the sexual reproduction. Therefore, they picked useful variation present in the wild population of plants and animals to raise their domesticated breeds with a desirable character. Number of new varieties were produced through the artificial selection. Similarly, the cow was an Indian breed of Punjab developed through the artificial selection and domestication of ancestral wild cow. However, early agriculturists had no idea of the scientific basis of variation. कि कैसे होता है, क्यों होता है, they have no idea, but they said that if we cross two particular desirable breeds of the cow or the plant, they will comes out with a new variety, and that is better than the parent variety. The individual formed from the sexual reproduction, they are called as an offspring. And the group of individual, they are formed from the asexual, and they are same the genotype, they are called as a clone. So what is the major difference between the offspring and the clones? Offsprings, they are the, you can say, the individuals which are formed from the sexual reproduction. Clones are the individuals that are formed from the asexual reproductions. Offsprings, they resemble their parents, they are similar to the parents, but they are not the carbon copies, they are not having the same genotype. But the individual, that is the clones, they are the same genotype as that of the parents. So this is the major difference between the offsprings and the clones. And the like begets means we used to inherit the things, but during the sexual reproduction some differences are there, that is the variation, but still we resemble each other. That's why it is like we get like. So Today we are going to start with our Mendel's experiment. As we know, the Mendel is the father of genetics. So Mendel is known as the father of genetics, as we have already known, that is the father of genetics. So that is the Mendel, that is 1822 to 1884, and it is known as your father of genetics. Mendel himself is not a naturalist, neither a biologist. He is simple a teacher in one of the monastery where he used to teach the students, live there, but he is very fond of the plants and the flowers, and he has observed the following changes coming out in the garden and come out with some observations which later on becomes a major discovery of the genetics, and that's why the father of the genetics he is being called as. So Mendel performed his experiment with a garden pea, and the scientific name of the garden pea is Passion stevum. So you have to write that name in the capital letter or with underlining if it is not written in the italics. So he conducted, so how he conducted the experiment? So he conducted the artificial pollination, cross pollination experiment using the several true breeding varieties. What do you mean by true breeding varieties? Are those which are having no particular character of any other, you can say, the trait. If they are tall, they are purely the tall. After generation and the generation, they are tall. If they are dwarf, they are purely the dwarf. They are not having any in-between generation of intermediate or the tall. So such type of the traits or the varieties, they are known as a true breeding varieties, and they are having a contrasting traits. And he observed, that is one trait at one time, whether it is a height of the plant, or it is the flower color, or it is a seed color. So he observed one trait at one time, not having a collection of all the traits in one plant. But as we know कि garden pea में एक बार में सारे characters हैं, पर मेंडल फोकस्ड वन करेक्टर एट वन टाइम, कि एक बार में अगर मुझे हाइट को ही ऑब्जर्व करना है तो फोकस इज ऑन द हाइट. इफ ही हैज़ टू ऑब्जर्व द फ्लावर कलर, देन द फोकस इज ऑन द फ्लावर कलर. फाइन. So then he hybridized the plants with the alternate forms of the single trait, that is monohybrid cross. The seed thus produced, they are developed into the first F1 generation, then self-pollinated, and then the second F2 generation that we will discuss one by one. And later on he has observed the dihybrid cross. So the Mendel experiment में सबसे पहले what we have to discuss, which is very important, that why the Mendel has selected the garden pea for his experimental material. That is because it is an annual plant with a short life cycle. So after the several generations, you can study in a very short period. So the result will be there in a very short period. If you want to repeat the experiment and again want to perform the experiment again, that can be done in a very short period. So that is having the annual plant as well as with a short life cycle. Number two, they are bisexual flowers containing both the male and the female. So the flowers, they are predominantly self-pollinating. It is easy to get the pure lines for several generations. It is easy to cross-pollinate them because the pollens from one plant can be introduced into the stigma of another plant by removing the anthers. So we are having a bisexual flower. If we are having a two bisexual flowers of a garden pea, so in one flower we will just remove the anthers, that is called as a emasculation, that becomes the female, and the second plant in which we remove the pistil, that is called as the male plant, and then we can cross them with the introduction of the pollen of the one plant into the another stigma of another plant with under the control conditions, under the observed conditions, so that there should be no contamination. This is what called as an artificial hybridization. So this can also be done in the pea plant. So pea plant produce a large number of the seeds in one generation. They easily raised, maintained and handled. Number of easily detectable contrasting characters are available. So you can see we are having a 7 contrasting characters in the pea plant. So number 1 is your seed shape. Then we are having a seed color. Then we are having a flower color. Then the pod color. Then the pod shape as well as the pod color. And the very important is your flower position and the height, stem height, which is very commonly being observed, that is your stem height. So the question is why the Mendel selected the garden pea as the experimental material? Because it is annual, it is bisexual, it has a short lifespan, it can be cross-pollinated under the observation, self-pollination is also being available, and it has a 7 contrasting traits, and that is very important that they are having a 7 contrasting traits. So number 2 question is what is the reason of the successful of the Mendel? Mendel is successful because he conducted the cross-pollination, artificial pollination by repeating the several generations and getting the pure line. And the very important, he observed one trait at one time. Fine. So these are the various, you can say, the reasons that why the Mendel is successful and why he has taken the garden pea as the experimental material. So what are the observations which Mendel observed during the experiment? Number 1 is monohybrid cross, which involve only one character, that it may be the height of the plant, it may be the seed shape, it may be the seed color, or dihybrid cross in which they are taking a 2 traits together, that is round seed and tall plant. Homozygous, that is they are carrying the similar alleles and they are having a different alleles. This important terminology we will discuss side by side in a very separate session. So they said that, so what is happening? So Mendel took one trait at one time, that is one inheritance of one gene or the one enzyme. Suppose he has taken the stem height. So with the contrasting traits, the tall and the dwarf. Fine. The tall is parent generation. The tall is being represented by the capital T and capital T. The dwarf is being represented by small t and small t. Gametes, because capital T, that is same, so this is homozygous. Small t, this is also homozygous. So gametes, that is half, that is of your dwarf, that is T and T, that is capital T and small t. So during the cross pollination, and they will get a new plant in the F1 generation, and phenotypically means देखने में कैसा है, that is tall plant. So all the plants of the F1 generation, that is the tall in phenotypically, in externally makeup, they are tall. And when these tall plants, they are being self pollinated, they will get the 2 types of gametes, and on the cross, or you can say during the self pollination, during the fertilization in F2 generation, they will get 3 types of the plants. One is pure tall, same as that of the parent plant, and 2 are like of a F1 generation, and 1 is like again the parent plant, which is contrasting to the tall. So they are phenotypically 1, 2 and 3, which is of the parent tall plant, which is of your F1 generation. Phenotypically they are tall, देखने में tall है. and only one that is your dwarf. This is phenotypic ratio, means how the visible, how we observe them. But genotypically means what is their genetic constituent. So that is pure tall, this is hybrid, and this is pure dwarf. So this is 1:2:1 and phenotypic is 3:1. So these observation he made, that is the F1 progeny resemble only one of the parents and the trait of other parents are not seen. So either the tall or the dwarf, that is out of two traits, only one is being observed in the F1 generation. As you can see, only one is observed. And number 2 observation, in F2 both the paternal are there, that is in the ratio of 3:1. The contrasting trait did not show any blending, means कोई भी trait आपस में mix नहीं होगा. टॉल है, ड्वार्फ है, अगर आपके F1 जनरेशन में आपका जीनोटिपिकली कैपिटल टी स्मॉल टी है, दैट डजंट मीन्स कि हाइट इज़ इंटरमीडिएट, मीन्स दोनों के करेक्टर्स मिक्स्ड होके एक इंटरमीडिएट हाइट दे रहे हैं. नो, देयर इज़ नो ब्लेंडिंग इन द जेनेटिक्स. आइदर ऑफ द टू, one is expressing and one is unexpressed. So the expressed trait is known as a dominant trait and unexpressed trait is known as a recessive trait. That is there, but you cannot say that they are the blending. So they will appear whenever the conditions are favorable, that is in F1 or the F2 stages. So there is no blending in the genes, in the genetics. In dihybrid cross that will be do, that is got the similar results as that of the monohybrid cross, but the phenotypically the ratio is different, that is 9:3:1. So today we did the monohybrid cross, that is the inheritance of one gene in which the Mendel has selected or observed only one trait, that is your stem height, with the two contrasting traits. So when we say two contrasting traits, means they are alleles to each other. Character is height, but their tallness and the dwarfness, they are alleles to each other. They always represents with the TT, that is they are diploid. Gamete is haploid. F1 generation will express either of the one character of the parents. The character which will express in F1 generation is known as the dominant character. Similarly, in this particular trait, that is a stem, the tall is dominant as compared to the dwarf, and when they are going to be self-pollinated, and in this particular Punnett square we will get a 4 progenies, that is 4 offsprings are there, with pure tall, with hybrid tall and with pure dwarf. So means there is no blending, they will express themselves in the homozygous form only. So the tall is dominant and dwarf is recessive trait, but they will express themselves when they becomes homozygous again. So in this we have explained the monohybrid cross, in which we have taken only one character, we observed only one characters. We learned that what is a phenotypic ratio, what is a genotypic ratio. The dominant trait is that trait which express themselves in their F1 generation, and the trait which remains concealed in F1 generation is known as your recessive trait. So today we have learned about the dominant trait, we have learned about the recessive trait, and this is what called as the monohybrid cross, or the law of dominance and the law of segregation. In detail of that we will discuss in our next session. Till then, stay home, stay happy. Thank you.